So, as part of trying this new program of Power Building Phase 1.0 of Jeff Nipper, I have been enjoying one of these days, which is the Arm and Pump Day, which is Saturdays, part of the 5-day per week split. And I wanted to share this routine as part of the program so you can see what I'm doing exactly. And this day is more of a hypertrophy day, and as you can see, I started doing some easy bar curls and focusing mostly on my technique, because most people don't know how to do this exercise without bending their lower back too much. As you can see, I'm using some momentum here, but it's important that you always control the weight down, always focusing on those at least 2-second eccentrics and a little bit of the pause at the bottom. So this way you can actually work your biceps without hindering other areas of your body, right? And this is part of a superset. So this superset is then done by the JM press. As you can see, I'm doing it on the bench. And it's important that when you do it on the bench, you have also your lower back and lower body very stabilized, so you can focus on moving your triceps. Now, the JM press is a bit tricky because it's very similar to the bench press, but here you drive the bar all the way down to your close to your chin and all the way up. And as you can see, I'm putting my head a bit out, so this way it can do the full range of motion, so I can hit the triceps better. Now, it's always good to do some warm-up sets before, so you can see whether your weight is around, because you may tell to yourself, oh, I can lift this weight because you did on the School Crushers, but you're gonna notice that this is an exercise a bit more harder than the School Crushers. Following now with the second superset, it's some bicep 21s and tricep 21s, and I'm gonna detail you this right now. And bicep 21s are divided into 3 sections. The first section is a 7 rep full range of motion part. As you can see, I started here with the full range of motion, and now the second part will be 7 reps of the contracted range of motion. Right here, I'm going down into the mid part and then contracting all the way up. And here is where you're starting firing up those biceps. You're gonna start noticing some work and some burn. And lastly, the 7 reps on the elongated part, which is the hardest one, because you're gonna focus on the eccentric part of this movement, and based on all the studies, the lengthened partials build as much muscle as a full range of motion. So keep this to the last reps, and you can see that you're gonna work all those muscles at the end of it, right? Now with the superset, I did some tricep 21s on the push downs with the cables, and I really enjoy doing some rope ones. As you can see, the good thing about ropes is that it allows you to make a fuller range of motion with your triceps, right? So first 7 reps, as I told you, on the full range of motion. The next 7 reps is going to be on the contracted part, so as you can see, until the middle, and then all the way back to the contraction, always focusing on those slow eccentric, no matter if it's in the contracted, elongated, or full range of motion, right? And lastly, here I'm doing the elongated part of the triceps, which is the very hardest part, where the triceps burn the most. But trust me, I really enjoy this part the most, even though it is the hardest. Following with the third superset, I started doing some lateral raises with the dumbbells. Now, a very common thing I did before is that I raise the dumbbells up instead of away from me. And if I'm focusing on raising them away from me, you're gonna notice that I always raise it until parallel with the floor. I don't raise them no more than that, because you focus more on targeting those mid fibers of the delts instead of just only the front delts. So this way you can, use all the benefits of the lateral raises, and the more inclined you are, the better you will work them. Supersetting it with some band pull-aparts. Now this exercise is quite simple because you're gonna use a resistance band, and the technique here is the most important, as you need to focus solely on hitting those rear delts as well. That's why it's supersetted with the lateral raises, because now we're focusing on the back area of your shoulders, right? As this requires another movement pattern, and one of the best ones to do with the superset is some band pull aparts. And then we do the third exercise in this superset is some standing calf raises. A very good exercise in my opinion is the standard portion of calf raises, because studies have shown that if you do them seated, you're gonna just target the soleus more than the gastrocnemius, and the soleus is the internal part of the calves, which is not that great, right? And so focus more on the standard part of the calf raises. You can do it on a Smith machine, you can do it on the machine, you can even do it seated on the leg press with your legs extended, and this way you're gonna feel more the contraction on your calves. Now it's very important that you do slow eccentrics and pause at least for 1 second at the bottom, so you can work more your calves instead of going to point A to point B like most people do on the calf raises, right? Focus on that and you will feel a better mind to muscle connection. And now for the last superset, we're gonna work the abs and the neck, and we start doing some reverse crunches on the bench. And what I like about reverse crunches is that you target more the lower abs, which is a harder area of your abs to target. Even though the rectus abdominis are all the abs in one, I think that you should try to focus more on lower and upper parts of your abs, so this way you can also work your technique and feel that mind to muscle connection on your abs, right? Because again, if you just go from point A to point B on ab exercises, not feeling your abs and feeling more your hips or even your legs, you're not working your abs correctly. And that's why here I always try to bring my knees to my chest, focusing on that contraction on the abs, as well as going very close to failure, or if you want to failure, because your abs are just a muscle like any other muscle in your body, right? And now, following with the neck rules, I think that this exercise is a bit tricky, especially if you do it with some plate on your head. You know, you need to really focus that the plate is just there. You're not driving it with your arms. Instead, the one driving it is your neck fibers. Okay, so do it as your hands are just like drivers instead of using them for this exercise, and use your neck for all the work from the eccentric part all the way to the contracted part. Now it's always good as well to do some warm-ups before working your neck, as your neck is a very vital area and it's very important that you always keep this healthy and don't have any pain, don't have any discomfort in your neck, because if you have some, this may lead to some headaches and other side effects you don't want, right? So it's always good to focus on the technique, on training your neck no matter what, and also you build muscle on the fibers around your neck, right? As you can see, I didn't go to failure, and that's it. And then finishing it with some neck extensions as well. Always try to focus on the eccentric movement and the explosive concentric, because the fastest you do this exercise, you may get dizzy, you may get some headaches, you may get some pain on your neck. When you're training your neck, it's very important that you always do it on a slow eccentric fashion, so you can focus on the fibers on the neck as well, on the back part of your neck, which is a very vital area as well. So always do this with caution, always warm up, always do your research before, see if you have any problems on your neck. If you don't have any, then you can go and train your neck as well. This is optional, but I think this is a very good routine that you can follow. And so I hope you enjoyed this video, and this is the full routine.